What was the hardest thing to adjust to when you first came into this prison? I've always naively, I guess, thought that women were the gentler sex, that the weaker sex. That's what society wants us to believe, and the fact that women can stab a man to death 40 times I find that incomprehensible. South of Chicago in the state of Indiana, 2 prisons hold some of America's most dangerous female criminals. The Rockville Correctional Facility in Indiana Women's Prison house over 1,800 offenders. Many are serving long sentences for extremely violent crimes. Some will end their days here. How severely was the victim hurt? The bullet came into close contact with his eye and you shot him in the face. Yes, for 4 weeks I was given access to a world and a culture the like of which I've never known. So you were classed as a baby killer. I was that. I'm a lot more than that as well, but that's who I am. America imprisons more women than anywhere else in the music world. This is Indiana Women's Prison. My escort Sergeant McPherson is taking me to meet the most notorious IOUS inmate in the state, a convicted double murder. Thank you, you're welcome. And Sergeant, we're heading now to the Administrative Segregation Unit. This unit is where our disciplinary offenders are. This is a what you call like a punishment forum, and we put them here to give them time to think about what they've done and to clear up their negative behavior. Offenders in this unit spend more than 20 hours a day locked in their cells. They have no contact with the rest of the prison population. Hey, are you ready? Sarah Pender has been in this segregation unit for nearly 5 years. This is punishment not for the double murder for which he was convicted, but for an incident in 2008 which made headline news across the country. Why do you think they have given you this long sentence? As it were in segregation unit because I embarrassed them. How did you embarrass them? Well, I escaped from what was supposed to be a maximum security prison. How did you do that? An officer aided me. He in what way? He This is a little embarrassing. He drove me out. They have these transportation vans that come in to get fuel. They have like their own little gas station, and we planned it so that when he came in to get fuel, then I came out and got in the van. How did you manage to persuade an officer? Well, I didn't actually to take you out. I didn't actually ask him. Yeah, I know it's I was having when I was planning my escape, I planned on doing it by myself and but I needed money and I didn't want to ask my family because I would have to lie to them about what it was for. So in order to make money, I worked with this officer who would traffic in contraband, and then my friends would sell it for money, and then I would get the money to save up for my escape. And so he was making a lot of money because I was paying him very well to do this. And he found out that I was planning an escape and saw an opportunity to make more money, and so he said, what if I could just roll you out of here? I said that would be worth my while. And as a side note, I also had a sexual relationship with the officer, and that came out when I escaped, and that was very embarrassing to the department. I think I'm beginning to understand why the authorities have taken such a strong line on your case. Because you mentioned it was an embarrassment. I think it was a huge embarrassment for them. Yes, and the only explanation that they've given my mother for why I'm in here is that I'm quote too smart for their facility. This is the Rockville Correctional Facility from which Sarah Penn escaped in 2008. She was on the run for more than 4 months and was labeled America's most wanted woman, leading the way back to Indiana. 2 state troopers in an unmarked police car bringing convicted murderer in prison escaped Sarah Jo Pender back to an Indiana state prison. Pender has been on the run from police since escaping from the Rockville Correctional Facility last August. She'll have no contact with the outside. No phone calls, no visits, and we'll minimize her contact even with staff internally. The state has been true to its word, and this has been Sarah Pender's life ever. Music. Since Scott Spittler, the officer who helped her escape, was jailed for 7 years, Sergeant McPherson has known Sarah Pender from the day she arrived at Indiana Women's Prison. She must have struck up a very deep relationship, having targeted that male officer. He was having problems at home, and she preyed on that. She preyed on his emotions. She made him feel that she was going to save him, that she would be his everything, that she would replace what he didn't have, and he was so vulnerable he fell for it. So he did whatever she asked. He fell in love with her. He fell in love with her, yes, but of course she wasn't in love with him. She used him to get what she wanted, and that was to get out of Rockville, and you would put that down to her ability to manipulate. She is I've seen a lot. I've been here for over 20 years. Sarah is one of the best manipulators I've seen. Music. Out in the general population, prisoners must conform to strictly regimented days. 3 hours for music, recreation, 15-minute sittings for meals. Music. 132 family pres has 2 and 1 child to return to visiting room. May they proceed. Apart from this routine, inmates are allowed out of their cells, although they can find